did you grow up believing in God? Was he something in your life? Was there a relationship? What does that look like?
I grew up Catholic, which means that I grew up agnostic, at least in my home. You know, we went to church every now and then. I went through catechism. I did all the right steps and everything like that. Came around high school. I officially came out as agnostic to my family. I just didn't believe it anymore, and I didn't want to keep pretending.
Yeah. So that's when you came out to your family and were like, look, I don't believe in this.
No, I didn't believe in any of it. Not at all. And then somewhere along the way, I just got really tired of not having an answer and not having this is what's happening, this is what I believe, I think is what I was most tired of, that I didn't believe something. And so I did a lot of work. I studied Christian apologetics for several months in a row. I failed several of my high school classes doing so. And I created a list of what I wanted to know, what I wanted to research, and I ultimately came to the conclusion that Jesus probably resurrected from the dead, but I still had to take that leap of faith, and so I did.
Truly, the story for you is like literally digging in to understand if there is a God is what brought you to Jesus.
Yeah, I set out honestly to try to like find multiple reasons why there wouldn't be a God. I mean, I did find several, but I found a lot more compelling evidence for, you know, the necessity for morality to exist with a God, the boundlessness of creation, of the entirety of the universe, and it just came to a point where I had to either walk away with no answers or take this leap of faith, enter into this relationship with God, and I set out in the first place to try to find an answer, so I went with the other. I think the funniest part about my salvation story is that for the first, I'm going to say like 3 or 4 months after I got saved, I entered into a clinical depression about it. Lots of people describe like the moment they found God as like this like happy, amazing, I have the God of the universe on my side now. I was mad. I was mad at him. I was mad at that I was wrong my whole life. And God slowly started to work on my heart, and I've overcome that. But yeah.
What got you mad? Was it because
I was wrong? I don't like being wrong. I always work to be right as much as possible. And this was a pretty major thing to be wrong about, and I was mad that I'd have to change my whole worldview. I was mad that things that I had come to the conclusions of and the relationships that would have to change, how I would have to change. I didn't want to do it.
What areas do you feel like the Lord showed you need to grow up in, or that you needed to grow in, or just what were those areas?
100% on relying on Him, and just Him. I mean, before I got saved, I was very happy with my family and the way that things were going with my family, and I always had this mentality of I can always fall back on my family, you know. I always have them. So after that, I was like, all right, well, you know, I have these friends, these 2 friends of mine. They've been really, really great, and I'll always have them to fall back on. And then they pulled away, and then I was like, all right, well, I'll always have my church family then, this new church family of mine. I'll have that for a very long time, and then that fell apart, and you know, I'm just constantly being beaten and bruised, and then I was just getting into a relationship with my wife at the time, and I'd look at you know, other couples, and I'd look to them and be like, wow, these couples are people that I really look up to. I won't name anybody by names, but I'd watch these 2 very, very, what I thought were healthy relationships fall apart, and that just sowed so much doubt into what I was doing with my own relationship. And so it's always just been lessons on trusting Him, putting all my faith in Him, and everything else is just kind of a bonus.
Isn't it interesting that at one point in your life you feel like there's no God, and then now the realization of, okay, Jesus exists, He died for me, but now I literally have to rely on just Him.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very drastic, and it catches me off guard a lot. Even today, every now and then I'll just get little reminders. It's like, you gotta trust me, you gotta put your faith in me. This is all temporary. It's all fragile. It's chaos. He's the only real foundation of it.
Agnostic to Jesus. I mean, what would you give any advice to someone who is searching, like they're looking? are struggling, what would you say to them?
Well, God promises one thing to people time and time again. That's if you ask for wisdom, you're going to get wisdom. So I just say keep searching. You really got to get to a point where you're willing to accept that you could be wrong and be willing to put in the work and be willing to have to take a leap of faith.
What does hope mean to you?
I mean, lots of people talk about hope as being like a light at the end of the tunnel, but I don't like that. Everything just seems so far away, so unobtainable. Since I've been saved, hope is always just something that I can grasp, that I can hold on to.
If you were in a room with Jesus right now, what would you say to him?
I'd thank him a lot for everything.